I've been doing leatherwork for nearly 10 years. I've designed and built a lot of bags in that time, but I've never gone from concept to fully finished original handbag in 12 days. That's what this is. Welcome back. This is the Maddie. So, 12 days, concept to completion. My own pattern, my own design, built entirely from scratch. And this build is so involved, it's going to take us 3 videos to do it justice. Today we're going to cut the exterior, we're going to put it together, and we're going to start the gussets. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the rest of it. Now, for this build, I'm working with Auran goat leather, as if you are a long-time viewer of the channel, you'll know I am a massive fan of this particular leather. You'll know Auran. You know what I am talking about. Beautifully consistent, gorgeous handle, and it's going to make for an absolutely stunning bag. So, 12 days, let's see how we did. Let's get into it. A couple of weeks ago, my business and design partner was approached by a very good friend of hers who was going to the Royal Ascot, probably the most famous horse race in England, if not the world. It's the one that the King goes to and a bunch of other celebrities. Really famous, lots of photos, it's beautiful. Anyway, she was going to the Royal Ascot and she asked my business partner and design partner if we could make her the perfect Ascot bag. Of course we said yes. We said yes before even thinking about the timeline, and then we asked her how long we have because we didn't know when Ascot was. At the time she said it was 2 weeks, so that was 2 weeks, that was 2 days before I started. That was the yes we can do it, no idea when it is. 12 days before Ascot we started the pattern process. This process took about a week actually. The majority of a week was patterning. The majority of a week was a lot of very long days, lots of FaceTime calls with my designer. It was hard, but the bag we got out of it at the end was absolutely astonishing. As you will see, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen it already, and I can't wait to show you how I made it. So I'm using Auran goat. I'm fully reinforcing the entire thing, fully laminating and reinforcing the entire thing with 0.6mm bonded leather. We wanted this to be rigid, we wanted it to be sturdy, but also relatively light. So I didn't go for 0.8mm, I wanted to keep it slightly lighter and go for 0.6. Plus, Auran is a very stiff leather when you reinforce it. If you want to see more about our design process, about how everything is behind the scenes, don't forget to join my Skool community. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. I promise you'll get a hell of a lot of value out of it. Beautiful behind the scenes stuff, loads of information. Recently started it. There'll be patterns, one-to-one tutorials, loads of stuff. Come join me, links below. Anyway, this back, top and flap, it's all one piece. We didn't want to do an attached flap like some pieces do. We didn't want to do a attached back like some pieces do. Kind of the same thing, but not almost. We wanted it to be all in one piece, and that meant a hell of a lot of maths because the bag is entirely curved. It's narrow at the top, it's wide at the bottom. We wanted it to go up from a wide base to a slightly narrower top, stay the same width across the top as the top of the front and the back, and then spread back out so that the flap exactly mirrored the shape of the front panel, and the back panel is obviously symmetrical front to back. I think that process took probably about 2 days just to pattern that out and then to mock it up. Mocking it up was not an easy process. I first of all mocked it up in paper, and then I mocked it up in card, and then I mocked it up in bonded leather, and then I made the entire thing out of edge tan, just so I knew that it would fit together perfectly, because the difference you've got is thickness, and I go a lot more into pattern making in another video coming up. so don't forget to subscribe. And I'll have a full length on that in my Skool as well. Again, links down below. Don't forget to join me. The base is going to be a turned edge base. There are kind of two types of bases in bags. There's turned edge and there's painted edge. Typically, in most Hermes bags, most bags of anything, you'll see them turned. Simply because painting is a bit of a nightmare when it's on the base. It tends to crack a little bit with movement. But also because turning an edge is so substantially faster. You don't have any drying time for paint for lots of coats. You simply turn it and you're done. One thing that's really important when you're doing a turned edge, really important, is creasing it. That pressure and heat that your creasing iron puts into that turn is what will make it last forever. When I was making this bag, it was a little bit of a figuring out as you go. If you buy a pattern or you've made a pattern before lots of times, you'll know all of the order of operations in your head. You'll know it back to front, or it'll be written on the paper, the pattern itself. When you are making a bag from scratch, pattern to completion, like I'm doing here, you don't know what the order of operations is. You don't know if you need to prick mark it before you put the base on. You don't know if you need to do X before Y of anything, because you've never made that bag before. You can use the same first principles for everything. So you know, for instance, for example, that the base is going to have a 10mm overlap. So you want to do a 10mm overlap, which is what basically every bag in existence has. I'm not actually sure why. But you want to do that 10mm overlap, and then you figure out the rest of it from there. I decided I wanted to do a prick mark before everything went together, before the lining went in, because I was going to stitch it with an awl, but after putting the base on to the front and back. When you're gluing or using contact adhesive, but I'll call it gluing just because it's a mouthful if I call it contact adhesiving, and I'm not even sure that's a word, a leather that has a finish, you need to make sure that you scratch off that finish, otherwise the glue won't adhere. The way it works is the glue absorbs into the fibers of the leather, and then you stick the two surfaces of glue together. It's not actually the fibers sticking to the fibers, it's the fibers sticking to the glue, sticking to the glue, sticking to the fibers. It's a sandwich of fibers and glue. So you don't actually touch the leather together, and it's one of the reasons why it's so important to hammer it after you've glued it together, so that fully bonds. Unfortunately, I didn't get a clip of putting the non-stretch tape on the back of this, but as you can probably imagine, when a bag is folded up from flat, you're putting quite a lot of tension into those threads. So I always put non-stretch tape on the back of any weighted thread, at all, any of them. Just because leather itself is not going to be as strong as a polyester non-stretch tape. It just won't be. This was not easy. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm about to do one of the most complicated gluing on a curves I've ever done in my life. It required lots of time. It required lots of practice on less expensive leathers. I only had 2 skins of this particular green, and I couldn't order any more. Didn't have time for obvious reasons. I had 12 days to make the entire bloody thing. So what I did was I practiced this first. I then found a piece of plastic in my drawer, and I used the plastic as a interface layer so that I wouldn't stick it all together at the same time, which we'll see in a moment, because obviously glue won't stick to plastic. It can't. So I'm going to put the piece of plastic down, and then that's going to act to stop it from sticking prematurely. basically I needed to give myself as much time and as much patience as I could for this project to make it perfect. The client, who's a lovely woman, I don't know if she'll ever hear this, but she's a lovely woman, a little bit bonkers, and she won't mind me saying that, but she has one hell of an eye for detail. I think she's a designer, possibly, don't quote me on that. But this bag needed to be perfect, and it needed to be perfect for all the people that she was going to show it to, and for herself. So that gluing on a curve was a nightmare. I still have nightmares about it to this day, and this was just over a week ago now, I think. One of the things that you can't do after you've done a glue on a curve like this is lay it flat. If you want a full video on how to do a glue on a curve, let me know in the video description, and I'll put one on my Skool account so you guys can come and find that and enjoy it. And we're going to do exactly the same thing to the back as we did to the front. We're going to do a 10mm overlap. Unfortunately, this pattern won't be available unless I have an absolute landslide of people asking me for it. But I did a 10mm overlap on the back so that it was exactly the same as the front. Because I know most of you, or some of you, will ask me, this is EcoSar 16 PIU water-based adhesive. It's basically the only glue I use when I'm not doing metal. Metal doesn't stick to water-based adhesive. I'm using a 3mm pricking iron, and most of this bag, actually I think all of it, used the 0.45mm Misi superfine thread, which is what I use for most things aside from when I do piped bags, at which point I use a 0.55, or when I do rolled handles, just because there's a lot more tension in that. Someone asked me the other day, why do I use a wing divider and a creaser? A lot of people just do a creaser and then follow that next to the creaser. So I find it easier to put my pricking iron down next to two lines, on one and next to one, rather than just doing, well, one line and going next to it. I just find this easier, and that's the kind of long and short of it. One of the things about leatherwork, as you get better at it, is you kind of find your own way of doing things. When you first start, you watch lots of tutorials, and I love you guys for watching my tutorials, but you will then develop your own style, and you'll start critiquing other styles and learning from them, and again developing your own more and more and more. In case you guys are wondering, the bag itself took 80 hours, so that is 80 hours. Will the next one that I make take that long? No, absolutely not. That's because I was having to go back to the mock-up, figure out where everything was going. I had to keep stopping and starting repeatedly over and over again. So the next one of these I make, and yes, I do sell these. My website's down below. These are commissioned pieces, but they always are the slowest when you do the first one, and they're the slowest when you do the first one because you've never done it before. It's like when you're driving, you drive really, really slowly the first time you get behind the car because you have no idea what you're doing. Obviously, I know how to make a bag. Do I know how to make this bag particularly, specifically? Absolutely not. I've never done it before. No one has. The gussets are one of my favourite parts of this actually. What you'll see in the next episode is a very special detail that we put into the gussets that I actually fell completely and utterly in love with. You won't see it yet, it's not in this part, but the gussets are absolutely astonishing at the end of it. If you've seen my Instagram, you'll have seen the gussets. They pull this bag together. I have a video coming next Saturday on how to do gussets and the full version of that over on my Skool. But this is going to be a fully laminated, not perimeter glued gusset, because I wanted more stability. I wanted the gusset to hold the shape of the bag really, really well. And a bag with a perimeter glued gusset will have a bit more softness to it. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Don't forget to tune in next week. Don't forget to join me next week when I will be going over the next stage of this absolutely astonishing piece. Have a phenomenal weekend. I'll see you soon. Take care.